Joining us this week for the Wednesday Bookmark is Darla Nelson. Darla is a Christian life and health coach, author, and speaker who specializes in helping women and a few wise men move from stress and anxiety to peace and purpose. We're going to talk this morning about her book, I'm Fine. Really? Moving from stress and anxiety to peace and calm. Darla, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thanks so much for having me on your call. I really appreciate it.
The story behind this book really begins in 2013. Tell us what was happening in your life at that time and how it ultimately led to the inspiration for this book.
Yeah, so in 2013 is the year actually that my father passed away. And so as many people experience when you're going through a period of grief in your life and losing someone that was so instrumental in my life and in my heart, I really put on that mask of I'm fine. And I really was not fine. I was living in a place of complete sadness and missing someone that was so important to me. And so fast forward, a little bit to go backwards too, I had also lost my brother in 1993. And so just that different amount of grief and then moving forward to losing my father and then just what all comes with that, Brock. I don't know if you've ever experienced something like that before, but you definitely put on a mask of I'm fine when you're really not.
One of the first things you did after your dad's passing, and I thought this was really interesting, was you reevaluated your life. What realizations did that reevaluation lead to?
It really helped me to look at what was causing so much stress and so much anxiety in my life, whether it was losing my father, as well as my work, what I was doing. I was in the financial industry. I had gone through a lot of the down economy of 2008, 9, and 10. And one of the things I mentioned, Brock, in the book is that I remember standing in the shower and half of my body was numb. And I knew something was wrong, like something is wrong, right? And so I went to the doctors and they did all these different tests and they came back to me and they said that I was, that there was nothing wrong. The test results were coming back fine. And yet I knew that there was something wrong. I knew that, and it just dawned on me that day in the shower that it was stress. And then I had to learn to work around that for sure.
You point out actually that stress is a factor in 5 out of 6 leading causes of death, which is such a scary thought. What techniques in that spirit do you recommend for lowering chronic stress levels? What did you do, both in terms of things to do and things that we should watch out for that cause more stress?
Something that's really helped me is how do I begin my day? And so often people get up and they just get up, they need to go to work and they just run out the door. But I purposely, for myself, I make an intention of how I begin my day. And so I get up and I have quiet time. For me, I'm spiritual. So I have time. I sit on my couch. I read some scripture. I'm quiet. For me, I pray. And exercise, Brock, is so important. So many times yesterday, I was up at 5:30 and it was at the gym because those are little things that are going to help me to have less stress when I am focusing on having more self-care for myself. And that's going to look different for every single person.
Most people operate in what you call a have, do, be mindset, but you believe we're living backwards. It should instead flow as be, do, have.
Yes.
Unpack that for us. How are those two approaches different?
Yes, because when we live in that have, do, be, it's like when I have a better job, when I have a better spouse, when I have more money in the bank, all the things, then I'm going to do and then I'm going to be. And what we don't realize is that's backwards. And so for me, when I realized that back in 2017, I remember sitting in a class and that was being taught actually. And I went, that's it. That's it. That was the light bulb moment for me because it was like, I need to wake up and be. Who do I want to be? And so I began back in 2017 telling myself that I'm a loving, compassionate, inspiring soul. And so that's who I want to be. And so when I wake up with that intention through exercise, through taking time in quietness and not just rushing out the door and living into that, not just in the morning, but all throughout the day, every day. Then I get to do, and then I get to have. And it makes it life so much more peaceful and more joyful.
It's a simple shift, but so profound. At any given second, our brains are bombarded, and you talk about this in the book, with around 11 million bits of information. That's a staggering amount of information, way more than we can actually process.
Yes.
Talk about how this constant overload that we live in leads to communication challenges. Like when we're each picking up on different pieces of what's happening around us and in a given conversation.
I love that you noticed that in the book, because that's such a powerful concept. When we have 11 million bits per second coming at us, I mean, just imagine, like even now when we're on this call, right? Like if we don't focus on each other, then we're focusing on, you could be looking behind me. Oh, that's a nice plant that she has. Or, look there's her book on the shelf, or, all the different things. And we do that. We do that in conversation. We do that with our significant others, with our children. We aren't paying attention to that person and we're noticing everything about them. And so we're grabbing what I'm grabbing, even listening to you might be different than what you're grabbing. It's different. We can be in the same crowd. We could be at a conference as an example. And you and I are in the same conference. We're sitting next to each other. We're listening to the same speaker. And yet we're hearing a different 134 because of our minds and how they work and what we're focused on. It's a powerful concept. And when you realize that, I think of marriages and relationships, and we learn to focus on the person and really listen and care, we're going to catch what we need to catch.
And check in with the other person as to what they're picking up on that we might be missing.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. And clarify.
Yeah.
Clarify
absolutely.
when you're in the conversation.
Near the end of the book, you discuss healthy habits, and I want to land here, including many that have helped you personally. You touched on this a few minutes ago. As we close, hit on more of those small steps, very pragmatically, that we each can take starting today. Okay.
One of the main things is kind of what we mentioned before, is how do you begin your day? That's so key. Exercise. I have my water right here. One of the things I talk about, one of the healthy habits, is drinking water. It might seem simple, but it's a habit that's so good for our health, because something as simple as drinking water truly helps our whole body function better. And when our body's functioning better, we have more peace, we have more calm, because we're not living in that constant flight mode that we can so easily get into. Those are really good ones for me. I'd say those are the top 3 ones that I've mentioned. Of course, food, super important. What are we eating? What are we thinking about? What are we putting in our mouth every day? All those things are super healthy habits to consider.
I'm fine. Really? Moving from stress and anxiety to peace and calm. Darla Nelson, our guest this week for the Wednesday Bookmark. Thanks so much for your time this morning, Darla.
Thank you so much. It was a privilege.